Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and I have another chalk drawing to share with you today. This is for the letter U for our Islamic Waldorf inspired main lesson block on the letters. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my chalkboard, and I'm not going to completely erase our previous chalk drawing. I'm only just going to erase the part that's in the foreground, which was the tree for our previous lesson. I'm using my Sargent Art chalk pastels in order to do this chalk drawing, and I am going to just clean up the parts that I erased and change this a little bit so that it's suitable for the letter U. So I am changing the night sky into a daytime sky that's just blue with white clouds. And I'm going to go over those areas that I erased with some green and just kind of prepare it for all the things that I'm going to put in the foreground. So this chalk drawing is for the letter U, and it's going to stand for unity and ummah. And I'm going to be sharing the story of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ when he migrated from Mecca to Medina and established a new society there, and it kind of united all of the tribes that were previously warring in that area and all of the religions under Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And so I'm trying to kind of work with the previous chalk drawing and add some palm trees, which are significant for Medina, but I kind of wish that I had gone over the green hills and done them in brown, because I think that would have been more accurate for the area. So I'm just going to pretend that this was after a good rain and everything just kind of turned green, even though that is historically and just geographically probably not accurate at all. So the letter U is going to show all of the people standing in the city waiting for the arrival of the Prophet ﷺ. And so I wanted them in the shape of a U, which will stand for unity, and it just shows all of the people just kind of waiting. The perspective on this is really off, but I think with a lot of these chalk drawings, it's the spirit of the chalk drawing that really matters, and not all of the other details that would make it historically accurate or geographically accurate or even artistically accurate. When my children see this, mostly they are really excited about the chalk drawing. They're interested, it intrigues them, it piques their curiosity, and it really sets the stage for the lesson that's going to follow with the chalk drawing. In general, I am doing about a 2-day cycle with these main lessons on the letters. We'll do the story content the previous evening as a bedtime story, and then the following day I will do the chalk drawing, or I'll present the chalk drawing, and then we'll do the lesson that accompanies that main lesson. And our main lessons kind of vary a little bit, but in general they'll include a morning activity or opening activities for the main lesson. A lot of times that includes games and other kind of fun activities. It also includes the drawing. So when I'm doing these chalk drawings, I'm also really aware that my daughter, who is 7, is also going to recreate this in her main lesson block as a crayon drawing, and I will help her with that. And so I don't want too many elements or details that are going to be difficult for her to recreate in her main lesson book. In general, in a Waldorf setting, these chalk drawings may include more detail than what will actually be put into the main lesson book, but my daughter wants to recreate everything she sees, and so I have to be careful not to add too many things that are going to be difficult for her to recreate in her main lesson book or cause her frustration when it doesn't turn out the way that she expects. So off to the right here, I'm going to make a lot of buildings, and I'm just kind of writing over what I already drew. So I'm using my brown chalk just to do these buildings over the green background. And this is fine for a chalk drawing, but this won't work well when we finally get to doing our main lesson and our crayon drawing. So it's important that when you're doing this as a crayon drawing, you start with the foreground elements that you don't want to draw over other crayons, and then you can layer in your background elements without having to mix colors. Also, when you're working with crayons, especially the wax-based crayons, if you put too much or you're too heavy-handed to begin with, you're not going to get any good layering, and it's going to make it really difficult to put any other elements next to or on top of the crayons that you've already drawn. And so I recommend going really light to begin with, and this is really challenging for most children. It's a little bit easier for us to have the dexterity and the control in order to go over the drawing to begin with with a light hand and then come back in and layer in other colors. So I've noticed that for my daughter, it's important that whatever color we're going to put down, I can't expect too much layering, or I need it to be layered as another level of the drawing but not on top. I'm going to add a couple more details here just because I really wanted to accentuate the palm trees and really make this apparent that this is Medina and the Prophet is coming. And of course you don't see his caravan coming or him because I've chosen not to draw those elements. Alright, so if you'd like to see some of the other lessons in this Islamic Waldorf-inspired main lesson block on the letters, you can tap on the screen right now. If you're interested in getting more information about this curriculum that I've created, you can find that on my website at pepperandpine.com. And if you want to see how our homeschool is progressing on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram at pepperandpine.